Frisco, Texas. I'm Quinn Kuski, joined by my partner Todd Quarter, as we're getting geared up here for the number 5 Iowa State against number 12 Stony Brook. The winner will go on to play the number 4 ranked Ohio Bobcats. And Todd, you've got Stony Brook here with 2 big name players in Belger and Riccardi. And if you're the coach of Stony Brook, what do you do to make sure those guys settle into this tournament?
Well, it's a defensive-minded team, so you're going to stay disciplined, stay in your zone, play your box, and you know, if you got Uglum is the key to this game, along with Hallback on defensemen. They're very good defensemen. They're disciplined. Like I said, they stay in their zone. They stay in their box. They're a defensive-minded team. So this is something, you know, we have to be mindful. They can't turn the puck over in their own end. At the least, what you want to do is get the puck out to the neutral zone and get it out of danger.
I'll tell you right now, Todd, I know it's a huge cliche for announcers. You hear it every game that gets called. This game, you got to stay out the box. These are 2 teams, especially against Stony Brook. Stony Brook's a very offensive-minded team. Like you just keyed in on, Iowa State is very defensive-minded. If you're Iowa State, you can't get shorthanded. But if you're Stony Brook, you're already an offensive-minded team. The last thing you need is less defensemen on the ice. I think we're going to see very high power play numbers in this game, and both coaches have got to be preaching, stay out the box.
Well, they do in especially in a championship-type event, which we're at here today. A penalty, a little penalty could mean a lot. A major is gigantic. You get a major penalty, you're in the box for 5 minutes. They can score all they want. So you know you got to do the little things in order to be successful in the ball game. You know, when you're talking about Stony Brook, they're an offensive-minded team. Even their defense is an offensive-minded team. You talked about Belger. He has 52 points this season. Riccardi has 50 points this season. He has 32 goals. You know, and Ronaldo, you know, he has 3 game-winning goals this season, and he can pass the puck really well. He's got 17 assists along with 17 goals.
Yeah, and I mean, and if you go over and you look at Iowa State, they might not have as many crazy high point scores, but they also haven't played a ton of games. Like Kramer has 16 points in 17 games.
Well, Kramer's been huge when he's been on the ice. I mean, he's just been huge.
All right, we're going to go ahead and kick it down to Andy Storrs, our PA announcer.
Championship tournament hosted by the Frisco Convention and Visitors Bureau, the Dallas Stars, and the Children's Health Stars Center Ice Rinks. This is ACHA Public Address Announcer Andy Storrs. Today's game number 9 features on the visiting bench the number 12 ranked Stony Brook University Seawolves. And on the home team bench, the number 5 ranked Iowa State University Cyclones. Let's meet the starting lineups for this morning's game. First, for the Stony Brook Seawolves in goal, a junior from Mansfield, Massachusetts, number 72, Richard Shipman. On defense, a senior from Troy, New York, number 2, Joe Heffernan. On defense, a senior from Eau Gray, Michigan, number 23, Mike Kowicki. At center, senior from Huntington, New York, number 13, Matthew Crockett. At left wing, a junior from Montvale, New Jersey, number 71, Devin Palmieri. And at right wing, a junior from Pearl River, New York, number 61, Kevin Murphy. The head coach of the Seawolves is Chris Garofalo. His associate head coach is Colin Brumstead. The assistant coaches are Sandy Galati and Chris Testa. And now let's meet the starting lineups for the home team bench. The Iowa State Cyclones. In goal, a senior from Ankeny, Iowa, number 35, Matt Godeke. On defense, a sophomore from Northfield, Minnesota, number 4, Max Olson. On defense, a senior from Madison, Wisconsin, number 24, Kurt Halbach. At center, a senior from Spokane, Washington, number 17, Aaron Azevedo. At left wing, a senior from Sioux City, Iowa, number 28, Colton Kramer. And at right wing, a senior from Moorhead, Minnesota, number 7, Tony Uglum. The head coach of the Cyclones is Jason Fairman. His assistant is Scott Isman. Ladies and gentlemen, would you all please rise and kindly remove all caps. And join me, soloist Andy Storrs and organist Gary Lichtard, in the singing and playing of the Star-Spangled Banner. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red flare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, stay does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
All right, and we are back up in the broadcast booth with number 5 Iowa State against number 12 Stony Brook. And Iowa State, Todd, their basketball counterpart, just lost yesterday to Ohio State. Early exit for them and not an exit they were expecting after doing so good in the Big 12 tournament in basketball. So this is a team now that they've got to avenge a basketball team loss.
I don't think the hockey team is their mind is on the basketball team at all. Their mind is on Stony Brook in this hockey game here today. And this is a defensive-minded club. We said it in the pregame. You know, their leading scorer all season is Uglum. And, you know, he has 34 points, 19 goals, and 15 assists. He does have 7 goals on the power play, so we'll have to watch for that. This is a team on defense led by Olsen and Hallbach. Very good players that stay in their position and do little things, which ends up being big things for a good team.
And we are underway from the Comerica Center with Iowa State winning the opening draw, and they'll send it in deep, and Stony Brook will go to retrieve. Stony Brook on it with Heffernan. Heffernan, he chips it ahead, and now it's taken back there, and I believe that is Peck bringing it up the wing, and there it is dumped in by Palmieri. Palmieri chips it in deep, and now going in after it is Palmieri along with a few players on the Cyclones. Palmieri still looking to dig it out alongside of Hallbach. And now it's finally pulled away by Iowa State, but the battling continues along the boards. It still goes in. Palmieri and Hallbach continue to battle. Palmieri cycling around behind. He chips it back in behind, and Gaggle has it now, and he'll play it around. And there's Stony Brook with a one-timer out in front, but that one goes wide. This one getting chipped back out in front. Trying to play it there is Murphy, but Iowa State taking a big hit there, but able to get it out. Sometimes you got to take a hit to make a play.
Stony Brook off to a really good job. Great job on the forecheck. Way to put the pressure on Iowa State. They forced a bad pass right out in front of the net.
Paulson chipping it around the boards. Now going after it, and a big bomb from the point, and that one gloved down with ease by Gedeke. A good shot there from Belger.
Gedeke on the season, 15-9, 26 games played, 2.5 GAA. 3 shutouts, 720 saves for a 91.8% save percentage, which is very good. Anytime you get over 90, you're an elite goaltender.
Face-off won once again by the Cyclones. Played around behind, almost turned over to Stony Brook, and Gedeke just going to cover up. That was almost dangerous right there, Todd.
It could have been. Luckily for Iowa State, it was a very weak shot, and now they'll go ahead. They'll have a chance to regroup here as each team is on a line change.
Yeah, if you're a goalie, the absolute biggest nightmare situation is watching that puck get turned over, slam in front of you.
Well, Iowa State's not a high-scoring team. At least they need to keep this game around 3-2, 2-1 in order for them to have a chance to win it. Where Stony Brook, they'd like to get 5, 6, 7 goals and make Iowa State play from behind.
Iowa State with it now in the form of Paulson. Paulson chips it ahead, and Iowa State now bringing it in, and a good pass there for Uglum, but he's just unable to find the handle. And with it back now is Stony Brook in the form of Moore. Moore sending it around, and chasing after it for Iowa State is Hallbach. Hallbach passing it ahead in his own defensive end. Cycling back around for it there is Sandy. And he chips it along now back for Hallbach. Hallbach playing ahead, looking for Augman, but not able to find the mark there, and it's back in the possession of Stony Brook. Stony Brook plays it ahead with Ronaldo.
Each team out in a feeling out process here, especially Iowa State. They haven't really had the puck at all in Stony Brook's end. Stony Brook is really carrying the play thus far.
Hallbach just fires that one in from center ice. Covering up there is Shipman. And I mean, maybe that's the first step to getting yourself kind of settled into this game. If you're Iowa State, you got an offensive zone draw now.
Well, that's Shipman's first action since the start of this game. In 21 games, he's 12-7 this season, 2.79 GAA, and his save percentage of 91.
Stony Brook wins that draw, and they rip one straight into the stand, so we'll go right back to the same face-off dot. Not illegal in the ACHA. Good thing that we're not playing next door in this Dallas Stars arena, or else someone would be headed to the box.
And that's something that Iowa State can use to their advantage when the pressure's on them in this game. They can just dump and clear the puck, and if it goes to the bench, no worries at all.
Face-off won by Iowa State. Back to Sandy. Sandy playing one around the boards. Chasing after it there is Dolan. Dolan unable to get to it, and it's Peck who chips it ahead. And now sprinting into the zone, and a big hit there. Ronaldo, they went to lay the body on Ronaldo, and Ronaldo wound up being the one that did the hitting. Iowa State now bringing it ahead. Could be a 3-on-2, but a bit of a mishandle there from Sandy will end that rush, and they'll have to just change it to a dump and chase. Iowa State sending it up to the blue line. A shot there through traffic, and that one patted away. A good chance there for Paulson. This one kicks back out. Paulson going to go retrieve it for Iowa State. He circles around his own defensive end and drops that one off for Olsen. Now Olsen goes back for his line mate Paulson. This one chips in and now racing into the zone, and a shot on goal, and they score! Bancer, Iowa State goes up 1-0. A little fast little breakaway opportunity there, short ice, and that's a big goal.
Well, the first goal of the game is always a huge one, and it just went off the tip of the Stony Brook defender, and a breakaway and a nice wrist shot. And I thought actually that I thought Shipman would come up with that. I was pretty surprised.
Yeah, that was a really good shot from Bancer. Put it far side, blocker side. It's a lot harder to make those saves on the blocker side as we're getting a replay right now. I mean, you can see that puck. It just deflects in. Bancer able to shoot it far side. And now we're back to the action with Iowa State with it in their own defensive end with Olsen. Now Stony Brook back with it on defense. That one's sent in around deep by Murphy. Iowa State back with it now in their own end. They look to chip one ahead, and now it might be going in again for another rush for Iowa State. Now they chip one right out in front and a rebound. And Iowa State unable to pot that one home, but another good chance as they seem to have all the momentum right now.
Well, you know, that's C.J. Bancer's 7th goal of the season, and, you know, in these type of games, somebody's always an unsung hero that you don't expect. I mean, he's 7th goal in 7 games, good now for 14 points.
Stony Brook with it in the form of Murphy. Murphy trying to work one out in front. He drops one off there, and they continue to battle to just try and get it out away from the wall. But Iowa State defense is swarming right now. Stony Brook continuing to grind with it right along those boards. And Stony Brook being forced back to the point, but they're still along the wall. Todd, they've been along the wall this whole time in the zone.
Good job by Iowa State keeping the puck away from the middle. You want to keep it along the boards. They can't beat you from there.
Stony Brook now works it into the slot, and that shot there, but Gedeke will dive on top of it. And if you're Stony Brook, that's what you got to do. You just got to get grinding.
Got to get the puck in the slot, not along the boards. Good save by Gedeke, but you've got to hold on to that rebound. Loose rebounds will be critical, especially if they're within 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 feet of the net. They usually on the second shot, individuals usually successful.
And we're getting one more look at that goal there. Just a wild bounce right at the blue line. Just so happens to go right to the stick of Banser, and he pots it in the back door.
That's a goal that definitely that Shipman would like to have back. He'd like to have that save. That should have been made. Especially the goaltending we've seen in this tournament thus far.
Worked around the boards by Iowa State as they're looking to work it out of their own end. Battling with it right there is Riccardi. Now it's worked out in front. That one goes right through the slot. No one able to get a stick on it there for Stony Brook. Twisting it down low there is Stony Brook, and now it's battled for in the corner. Iowa State working it around with Paulson. Paulson ripping it around the boards. O'Brien now trying to scrape it out.
Stony Brook's a team that likes to take chances in the rush. They're an offensive-minded team, and you saw there on the first goal, they took a little bit of a chance there, and the defenseman wasn't quite back, and it went off his stick, and that's how you got the breakaway on the wrister.
Stony Brook looking to try that stretch pass there. It goes off the mark, and that'll lead to Iowa State possession with Gaggle. Or I apologize, Olsen.
You know, Iowa State's a team that they really move the puck well, as you can see here at the start of the game. This is their best shot in a national championship in quite some time, and you see that they are a defensive-minded team. Like we said earlier, they like to keep it along the wall and away from the middle of the rink, which is what you're supposed to do on defense. You don't see a whole lot of teams doing it. You know, the further we move along the tournament, you're going to see it. But a lot of teams, you know, they're just so open-minded, and Iowa State comes in with a defensive presence.
What'll be interesting is to see how aggravated Stony Brook gets if they're forced to stay along the wall throughout this game. Now it's Stony Brook with it in their own defensive end, playing it right down the boards. There is Pepe. Now it gets sent back in deep into the Stony Brook defensive end. That one played ahead looking for Ronaldo, but that pass off the mark. And Iowa State back on it and sending it in deep. There is Goggin.
Good job here on the forecheck by Iowa State.
Speaking of forecheck, Sandy just rocked Ronaldo. Maybe some payback there for the big hit Ronaldo had earlier. Iowa State sending it back deep into the zone. Right now this game's looking like all Iowa State. Sandy and Ronaldo coming together again. Something tells me those guys aren't going to be friends at the end of this game. Icing there on Stony Brook. Iowa State touches up, and faceoff will come back into the Iowa State offensive end. Stony Brook unable to change, and those guys have been on the ice for a bit.
Stony Brook got off to a real good start, and then ever since Iowa State scored the first goal of the game, all of a sudden they have a lot of pep in their step. They're moving the puck a lot better.
Seemed like Iowa State just needed that goal to settle into this game, and now it's been all Iowa State since then. And we're going up to the blue line, take another shot. That one blocked off out in front. Getting back on it, though, is Olsen. Olsen with another shot. That one deflects around way up high and winds up hitting our national championship tarp there. That one went so high, it went over the net, Todd.
Gedeke lost that. He did. If that puck would have stayed around the net, he would have been in trouble on that play. He had no idea where that went.
Yeah, that puck, I'm surprised it didn't hit the rafters. That was so high. I completely lost it up in the lights. That's not supposed to happen in a stadium of this size. Stony Brook winning that faceoff. I think that might be their first one faceoff of the game. But Heffernan turns it over, and now Iowa State's back on it. Pass right out in front, a one-time try, and a good save there from Shipman. Great chance out in front for, you know, the leading scorer of Iowa State, Uglum.
Nice one-timer right in front of the net, about 3 feet out. And Shipman had great reflexes on that play and was able to not only make the save, but corral the puck and don't allow a rebound.
If you're Uglum, you got to get that puck up. You can't have that sliding along the ice. A lot more ground can be covered by these netminders than big pillows. Uglum winning it back to the blue line. Feigning a shot there is Paulson. And now it's turned over to Stony Brook, and they'll just chip it out of the zone. Racing back forward is Olsen. Olsen and Paulson, the leading defensive pair for this Iowa State crew. Now that puck goes in deep and will be touched up for an icing.
Stony Brook needs to get that scoring trio of Beljo, Riccardi, and Ronaldo going. I mean, these guys are used to putting the puck in the net. You know, Belger has 4 power play goals this season. Ronaldo has 3 game-winning goals.
tell you from what we've seen early from Ronaldo, he's also not afraid to throw the body. He's been the recipient and the disher of some massive hits in this game. Stony Brook with it now. They work it in deep. Going after it there is Palmieri. Palmieri unable to get to it though, and now it's turned over and a shot from the slot. That one deflects around, winds up becoming harmless on a chance there from Crockett. Iowa State working it around with Uglum. Uglum passes ahead. That pass off the mark almost turns into a turnover, but winds up right back on the stick of Uglum. Now Uglum with a long lead pass, and that one hits the mark, bringing it in down low, and that shot wide. Shipman got his back turned to the puck there, but no harm, no foul. No one else there for Iowa State to grab that rebound.
Stony Brook is so offensive-minded. They need to clean up the defense here. Too many chances for Iowa State in the Stony Brook end. You've got to clean that up. You know, they got to get Elzavado the puck there for Iowa State. Keep getting him the puck. He's a playmaker. You can see it. I mean, he's got 21 assists on the season.
Yeah, Azavado and Uglum connecting there for that good opportunity for Iowa State. And Iowa State with another shot right there off the draw. That one winds up going just wide. Iowa State digging it out. Now they send it to the point, and that one's chipped back in deep, and a sharp angle shot, that one going right through the net mouth, and now it's played ahead, and out comes Stony Brook. O'Brien working it in deep. He chases it all the way to the far corner. O'Brien looking to scrape it out along with two Cyclones and another teammate of his. Now it's sent up to the blue line and chipped back in deep there by Gagel. And Iowa State working it now in the near corner. They're continuing to work it. O'Brien getting a few shots there in the back from Sandy. And finally the puck kicks free where it will be taken by the Cyclones. They're going for that alley-oop attempt, and it might hit the money, but Stony Brook able to defend it away. That's always a pretty pass if you see it connect.
Well, if it works, sometimes the puck doesn't bounce your way, and that's one of those you're just flipping it up there and seeing what's going to happen. You know, usually a good defensive team will knock that away.
Yep, Stony Brook able to knock that one away, and Iowa State responds by icing the puck. And we'll have a face-off now in the Stony Brook offensive end. On the draw for Stony Brook is Chukrin. Chukrin is able to gain possession there after a tumble down to the ice. Chukrin using his body to shield that ball off, boxing it out like a center in basketball. Now Stony Brook twisting it around behind. Racing after it there is Dempsey. Dempsey.
I was going to say I'm impressed with Iowa State defensively. They're tying that puck along the boards there and keeping Stony Brook from getting the puck in the slot.
Yeah, I hope these Stony Brook players aren't claustrophobic because Iowa State's been all over them so far in this game. Iowa State looking to chip one along the boards and get it out, and they will successfully do so. Now that one's worked free and looking for Sabo there, but that one just off the mark. And it goes in deep where it's taken now by Iowa State. Sabo, he chips it along, and racing ahead with it now is Iowa State. Passed out in front, and that pass just off the mark. A good lead pass there from Goggin.
He was open. You hit him, you got a breakaway on net.
Now with it is Stony Brook. They work it ahead. Bringing it into the zone there is Pomiak. Now a slap shot from the point, and that one gets blocked off, never getting all the way through. A good chance for Heffernan. Looking to get it back to Heffernan there with Stony Brook, but that one defended away. And now Sabo plays ahead for Iowa State. Sabo for Goggin, and Goggin chips it in deep where it'll be taken back by Stony Brook. Stony Brook from their own defensive end, Heffernan. They pass ahead, and now here comes Stony Brook, and they'll send it in deep, and racing after it there is Sandy for Iowa State. Now the puck kicks out to center ice where Stony Brook will gain possession, if only briefly, as it's taken back by Uglum, but a chipping in puck off a couple deflections winds up being offsides. And lo and behold, Sandy and Ronaldo come together once again. That's probably the 5th time those two have connected in this first period already. Now the puck goes in deep. Iowa State looking to get one out in front, and a bomb from the point. That one deflects around, and I believe, yep, and on top of it is Shipman, and we have some players gathering out in front.
Nice job there by Shipman to be able to hang on to the puck, number one. Number two, this pace of this hockey game favors Iowa State greatly. Stony Brook would like to play free, loose, and wide open.
And we're going to cut to break here with a media timeout. I'm Quinn Kuski alongside Todd Carter. We will return to you right after these messages.
The 2019 ACHA National Championships are brought to you by Aries Sportswear, official merchandise partner of the ACHA. Howie's Hockey Tape, the official tape provider of the ACHA. And the City of Frisco.
And we are back at the Comerica Center. Quinn Kuski alongside my color commentator, Todd Carter. And Todd, right now we're seeing a game that's really being controlled by Iowa State. If you're Stony Brook, how do you adjust right now?
You've got to get the puck out in the open. You've got to be the aggressor. And at the same time, defensively, you got to stay back because Iowa State's they're looking to cherry pick a little bit out front, catching Stony Brook napping on defense.
Face-off won by Iowa State. They send one in deep, and now it goes back up to the blue line. Now it's past cross ice, and a shot there. Good try there from Halbuck, but he's got the puck back. He takes another shot. That one blocked off by Stony Brook. Halbuck just chipping one in down low, trying to send one into the mixing bowl, and Iowa State now looking to start their cycle up. With it there is Rogers. Rogers going cross ice. Now it's back for Halbuck. Halbuck with a shot. That one gets blocked. And now it comes out deep, where it will be taken on by Marcasilli. Stony Brook with it in their own defensive end, looking to get their attack started. Palmieri will chip one in deep. Going after it there is Sandy. And it is taken by Iowa State. That one chipped up along the glass. Pepe back on it there for Stony Brook. Stony Brook's lead pass off the mark. And working it ahead now is Paulson. Paulson chips it in deep. Pepe going after it. Now a few players coming together, battling for the puck. And it is ripped away there by Dolan. Now it's sent up to the blue line for Sandy. Sandy going cross ice. And now it's twisted in deep there by Paulson. Working it around is Pepe for Stony Brook. Stony Brook still trying to get it out of their end, and they've yet to do so. And it still won't get out as Iowa State just holding that line.
Grinding it out, keeping it in the corners.
And right there you saw Stony Brook finally worked it out, but the second that puck crossed the blue line,
through the
solid
body.
check.
A solid check. That's exactly Iowa State's game plan. Keep it real simple. Keep it out of the middle of the ice. Use the body check and frustrate Stony Brook, the offensive-minded club. And they've done that very well in this hockey game, except for the first 2 minutes.
If you're Iowa State right there, that's a bit disappointing, trying to grab that puck around behind, wound up just hitting the net enough to knock it off. Now it's a defensive zone draw. You had possession, you were ready to work it out of the end, and just bad luck there.
Well, every face-off in your own end is critical. It just is. You got to win it. Good teams, great teams win the face-off a majority of the time.
Bancer was on the draw there, the goal scorer for Iowa State. He was unable to win it. Now a shot from the blue line. Traffic out in front trying to get on it, and doing so there is Gadecki. And that's exactly why you got to win those defensive zone draws, because right there, scoring opportunity for Stony Brook.
Right, the puck got loose again there on Gadecki. He did a good job of falling on it, but again, it was loose, and it was right there in the goalie crease. And we talked about winning the face-off. Guess who won the face-off? Stony Brook. So that's a win for them.
Another draw, this time won by Iowa State. They tried to send it around the board. Stony Brook blocks it off and forces a turnover. Now they pass one cross ice over to Heffernan. Heffernan sends one around the boards looking for Ronaldo. That pass just off the mark. Now Ronaldo on it, and he receives a little bit of help there from Dolan. Dolan and Ronaldo still looking to scrape that out along the boards. And finally Ronaldo does so just to lose possession to Iowa State. Cyclones once again going for that long flip pass, and it doesn't quite work there as Stony Brook winds up with possession once again. And now it's played ahead for Dolan. Dolan working one in deep. He's looking to send one right on the slot and a one-time try, and a good chance there. That was probably the best chance of the game for Stony Brook. A good shot there. And that's not what you want to see if you're Iowa State.
No, great one-timer, and Sleven on the wrister, but Gedeke was up to the task. You know, it was in the slot, but we've said it all along, if the goalie can see it, usually they stop it. No traffic out in front. If you're Stony Brook, you want to get traffic in front of the net.
Face-off won by Iowa State. They'll work it out of their own end. And now it's back in the possession of ACHA.
Job there by Rogers, tying him up.
Now it's back around behind. ACHA just soccers one along. And now it's worked ahead, and racing for it is Stony Brook with possession. They take a quick shot there, and that one goes wide. A great chance there for Murphy. Or I'm sorry, that was Pomianic.
Pomianic, it's a shame for Stony Brook that he didn't at least get it on the net. When you're in that close, you've got to at least make the goalie stop the puck.
Now Pomianic with a backhand try. That one gets blocked off, never finding its way on frame. Pepe wanted to let a one-timer go there, but passed just a bit off the mark, couldn't quite corral the one-time opportunity, and now it goes back to Dempsey in his own defensive end.
Good job by Rogers doing the little things. As you see him limp off the ice, he blocked that pass going back into the Iowa State zone.
That shot there, a little wrist shot from the blue line. Gedeke will deflect that one up and out of play, and that's routine for a netminder.
That is very routine, but you know, speaking of routine, what Iowa State is doing is so simple, yet a lot of teams don't do it. Just grind it out, keep it along the boards, block shots, do little things to keep your opponent from putting the puck in the net.
Face-off won by Stony Brook, and Pepe sends it down low. And that one's played cross ice there by Murphy. Murphy working one over to Moore. Moore going back for Murphy. Murphy with it in the far corner, just looking for some space. He sends one out in front for Moore for a quick shot, and Gedeke gonna dive on top of that one. And that's probably the 5th or 6th time this game that we've seen a juicy rebound come out.
Right, but that was really the biggest mistake that Iowa State has made on defense all game. They allowed the Stony Brook player to skate in from about 4 feet out, and they were fortunate that they didn't put it in the net. Let him sneak in there in the back door, as I like to say.
And now Iowa State with it in their defensive end. That one gets chipped around behind. Getting it there is Sabo. Sabo with battling for it now in the corner. That one finally works free for a shot all the way up from the blue line. That one not troubling as it was well off the mark. And Iowa State regains possession and a play off the boards for Sabo. Sabo working it in. He passes cross ice and a good chance there. Able to get a stick on it, but not quite enough to deflect it into the back door of that goal.
That was a sweet pass there by Sabo over to Goggin. A sweet pass.
Sandy with that shot there, but that one doesn't find the mark. Now it kicks free, and working ahead with it now is Moore. Moore chipping one ahead, but Sandy with it. Sandy with a shot, and that one gets loose right out in front. Back out to Sandy. He takes another shot, and that one gets blocked.
They tie him up and turn it over, and look at the pressure they're bringing on him, Iowa State.
Sandy passing cross ice, and a quick shot there, and that one's snared by the trapper of Shipman, and he's had enough.
Good one-timer right there. Good possession on the offensive end for Iowa State. Grind it out along the corner, along the boards, win the little battle, and get it out in the slot for the big battle.
And if you're Sandy, that's a good job of quickly involving Kramer, real fresh off the bench.
You're Kramer, you love a teammate that does that.
Iowa State with it right now. Uglum. Uglum's shot, that one deflects out to the side. The only players there are Stony Brook players, and they'll work it out of the zone.
Fortunately, because if it's an Iowa State player, it's a goal.
Uglum back on it in the offensive end. He just decides to send one around the boards, but Stony Brook the first ones to it, and now they'll work it ahead. This one played cross ice for Heffernan, and he'll send it in deep, looking for his line mate there in O'Brien.
Big hit there by Uglum. He let him have it. It was clean. That's what I like about it.
Cardi working one down low, and that shot gets blocked. And I'll tell you right now, if I'm Gadecki, I'm taking this whole team out for dinner tonight.
Good move there by Riccardi. Nice shot. It just happened to have no traffic in front of the net, which made it for, a good save by Gadecki. He was able to deflect it up and out of play. So one thing Stony Brook needs to improve on is getting traffic in front of the net. Everything is there for Gadecki to see.
Ronaldo in on the draw, or sorry, that's not Ronaldo for Stony Brook. But the draw is won by Iowa State. And now they'll work it in deep. Going after it there is Grolem. A few players battling for it, now playing it from down on the ice, but Stony Brook winds up gaining possession. And now they'll send it in deep. Going after it there is Hallbach. Hallbach on it. He twists it around for his line mate Olsen.
If you're Stony Brook, I don't think dump and chase is in your favor. I think you've got to bring it in, sort of like a Russian style of play, and attack from the middle. You dump and chase, you're playing into Iowa State's hands.
Stony Brook battling for it in the far corner. Finally, that puck squirts free and is taken by Slevin.
Iowa State, they just want you to dump and chase it. They want to be in the corners.
And Iowa State just ripping it back in, that one on goal. And I guess if you don't cross the red line, you definitely can't score, and that's Iowa State's game plan right now.
Exactly.
Iowa State just kind of playing catch in their own defensive end, and now they'll chip it deep into the zone, and they'll race after it.
We talked in the pregame, they move the puck well. They're doing it very well.
That puck in on the delayed offsides. And now Stony Brook sends it all the way down. No icing as there was a deflection. And Iowa State will work it around for Sabo. Sabo's pass is intercepted by Stony Brook, and now they're looking to restart their attack. And Stony Brook bringing it into the zone, looking to just lug one in, and he met with about 3 Cyclones, and he went down like a Cyclone.
No chance at all there. You've got to be able to give it up to a winger. Do not force it.
Pepe with it, he passes along. That one worked in, trying to get it there was Chukrin, but he didn't have it for very long, and Iowa State swarming to that puck. And a big shot there right along the boards right in front of us. And the Cyclones are back on it in their defensive end with 13 ticks left. They'll look to work one in deep, and it goes around behind. 7 ticks left, and it's passed out in front. Not able to pull the trigger there are the Cyclones, and that will do it for one. Cyclones up 1-0 over Stony Brook Seawolves with a shot total of 13-8 in favor of the Cyclones. And I'll tell you right now that 13-8, if you would have took it quality shots, it's probably about 10-2.
Well, you're not going to win a hockey game with 8 or 9 shots on goal, especially if you're Stony Brook in the style of play. Iowa State, the pace is theirs. They would love for Stony Brook only to have 8 shots on goal, and only, 1 or 2 of them were quality shots. We had one in the slot and run just outside the crease. And other than that, Iowa State did its job defensively, just keeping it ugly around in the corners, away from the middle of the ice. Fantastic period for Iowa State. I mean, this is what they want. 1-0, 2-1, 3-2.
Yeah, this has definitely been Stony Brook's games, or I'm sorry, Iowa State's game so far. Stony Brook is playing Iowa State hockey. They need to be playing Stony Brook hockey.
They do. They got to get the puck. They got to come up and down, almost like a fast break basketball team. Up and down the ice, keep the puck in the middle, and try to get some traffic in front of the net. They're not doing that at all. They're making it easy for Gadecki thus far.
It almost reminds you of one of those old school Penguins-Bruins games where the Penguins just want that game to be wide open, and the Bruins are trying to slow it down, slug it, grind it out, play that defensive game.
Rough you up, make you a little sore, make you a little frustrated mentally, and this is Iowa State's game plan, and they're playing it to a T.
And that will do us in for period number 1, as we will go over to the intermission report following a quick commercial break. I'm Quinn Kuski alongside of Todd Corder, and we'll see you back here for period number 2.
Iowa State was the place where Derek began his adventure.
Derek was one of the first students in the industrial design program.
Our apartment together was a design studio. A light bulb went off one day. I think he thought, I can design sneakers.
Derek's first study abroad experience, in fact, was in Rome.
He was able to go to London.
Did an internship in Germany.
Internship in New York City.
He designed in Chicago, and now he's on his way to design in California.
To see the excitement in Derek's face when he was moving to California is amazing. For Derek, it's a dream come true.
Enjoy your adventure at Iowa State. Visit chooseyouradventure.net.
Come on! You know the answer. You studied for this. Come on. Timmy! Come on, Timmy. You got this, son. Pencil to paper. Focus. Come on, Timmy. Focus. Focus. Take the puck. There you go. Skate! Skate! Pass it! You call that a pass? What are you doing? You missed the puck! Come on!
Skating was hard at first. Sometimes I fell, but I always got back up. Now when I'm skating, I feel like a rocket, or maybe a race car. Something really fast. It's my second favorite feeling. Scoring is my favorite. I think I like it even more than birthday cake.
My experience at Stony Brook was everything. It completely changed my life.
Since coming here, I've had my conception of humanity expanded.
The most important lesson I've learned at Stony Brook is that you have to work for it and you have to take it.
The students are bringing fresh minds to the question.
We go far beyond the campus confines to bring our expertise to global problems.
Stony Brook's just giving me that chance to prove my potential.
There are a few things that come along that change the course of history. Inventions or developments that reshape society. They usually aren't appreciated at first. In fact, they're often scoffed at. What good will that be?
Hello? Hi.
Surely that can't be practical.
She loves to see you.
But then, slowly, over time, the greatness of these achievements become manifest.
Hi!
Until one day, you ask yourself how you ever lived without them. That's the nature of turning points. They bring us to new roads and new heights. They open doors we never thought possible. So it's important that we go forward together.
I'm here with Gina.
That our growth might not just benefit the great, but the good also. In small ways, and in grand ones.
Dad.
The test of our progress is not whether we add more to the abundance of those who have much. It is whether we provide enough for those who have too little.
At Wilson Electronics, we push every day to amplify the power of communication, to connect those who love and those who cannot live without it.
And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first intermission report. We're here at the Comerica Center for day 3 of the American Collegiate Hockey Association National Tournament. I'm Justin DeVellis here with Cristiano Simonetta, here bringing you the first intermission report. Now, this Iowa State team, they lead by 1, headed into the second period, loaded with seniors, but it's actually the freshman, Cristiano, who gets the Cyclones on the board to start.
Exactly right, Justin. 3:23 into the first period. C.J. Banser catches a stretch pass from Trevor Sabo. You'll see his brother Evan Sabo play in the Illinois versus Minot State game at 1:30 today. But Banser making no mistake, going far side from the right circle, and that's the only goal we have so far. And for me, Justin, that's a win for the Stony Brook Seawolves, only down 1 to a top 5 team like Iowa State.
Yeah, in a penalty-free first period, relatively clean. If you take away the first 3 minutes of that first period, I mean, it's a 0-0 ballgame.
And both teams exchange chances, and that's another win for Stony Brook. With Iowa State, they're a big bruising team, like to grind you down in the offensive zone, go low to high in the cycle. For Stony Brook, their transition game has been where we've seen their chances. They've had a couple of odd man rushes, but haven't been able to put the puck past Matt Gedeke.
And one thing you said was size, right? The size of the goalies. Iowa State's got a pretty big goalie in their net. And then on the other side, huge goalie as far as size-wise goes. Tell me about the different approaches you have as an offense with different, goalies maybe shorter in the net or taller in the net.
Well, as a shorter goaltender like Richard Shipman is, you're going to have to be able to challenge your shooters. Go outside that blue paint, really cut off the angle, and then at the other side, if you're Stony Brook trying to get through Matt Gedeke, who's been a perennial powerhouse in terms of a goaltender in the CSCHL, got to get traffic in front of him. He's too good of a goaltender to get beat from a shot on the ice from the point. You got to get sticks in lanes, bodies in front, and Stony Brook's going to be able to tie this one up.
Sure. So, like you said, how does Iowa State extend this lead to 2? You just gave us a tip as far as Stony Brook getting back into this game. How does Iowa State extend their lead? Maybe get to 2-3-0, because it could be that way right now.
You got to keep the bodies banging along the corners. I think if you try and grind Stony Brook out a little bit, get in their heads, knock them off the puck a couple times like we saw Max Olson, Nick Saney, a big 1-2 punch on the back end for Iowa State. Get the D activated a little more, keep the transition game going, and I think they'll be able to expand this lead and maybe get this game out to a little bit of a rout. But Stony Brook, I already talked about it. They are a team that deserves to be here, and there's a reason why it's only 1-0 at the end of 20.
Yeah, the Seawolves, they can play with the Cyclones. If you take away that goal, like you said, it's been pretty even. I mean, Iowa State's not blowing out Stony Brook. Second period, what are you expecting from both sides?
Well, for Iowa State, I'm going to look at Tony Uglin, the senior forward out of Moorhead, Minnesota. He has led the Cyclones on offense, defense. He's a Swiss Army knife for the Cyclones, it seems, each and every night out. And for Stony Brook, I really like to play from the top line. Devin Palmieri, Kevin Murphy, and Matthew Crockett. Whenever those three, they've got the chemistry going on the ice. They've had the majority of the chances for Stony Brook whenever they've had their number called. But in the second period, I expect some penalties to be taken. The long change is going to be a factor, and speed is going to see through to how the second set of 20 minutes pans out.
Yeah, maybe a couple more penalties in the second period. It's been a little physical. The boards have been loosening up a little bit, but not too many hits like we saw in yesterday's action. Talk about the physicality of both teams so far in the game.
Well, that's what surprises me, too. There's physicality in the game. There's guys flying all over the ice. We saw Max Olson take a hit at the end of the first period, but it's been a clean game, and it's been a fast game. That's the one thing, Justin, that we looked up at 10:18 a.m. Central Time here in Frisco, and it was 12 minutes already gone into the first period. This is the exact type of hockey that both teams want to play, a fast game, but it's not for the faint of heart. You got to keep your head up along the neutral zone as well as the offensive zone.
Right, and the winner of this game taking on Ohio, a team that played yesterday, got the win, and it could be inter-conference rivals that meet in this next round.
Yeah, I've covered both Iowa State and Ohio very well over the past 4 years, and if those two teams met in the next round, it would be an explosive rivalry coming to the forefront once again in the ACHA National Tournament. But for Stony Brook, let's not write them off yet. It's one goal. You're one shot away from tying the game, getting back into it, and maybe if they get a power play or two, we can see them turn the tide in the second period as well.
And they had a few chances as well. Stony Brook back, late in the first period, they started to turn the tide a little bit. Couple shots started going their way. They got some breakaways close to the net. This game could be 1-1, too.
And we've seen that a lot throughout these games. You look at Missouri State Adrian, the game you called yesterday, a 2 seed, only winning by 1 goal. We saw Lindenwood having some trouble getting through to Chris Mallon against Robert Morris from the Lindenwood Lions, the number 1 seed. This is just excellent hockey, Justin, and we're going to be on the call for the next game, Illinois versus Minot State. But we're not done with this one just yet. It's 1-0 after 1.
Yeah, so 1-0. You heard it here from the intermission report. We're going to send it back for second period action. Justin DeVellis, Cristiano Simonetta. That has been your intermission report. Keep it here on the ACHA Network. Guys, back to you.
The answer. You studied for this. Come on. Timmy. Come on, Timmy. You got this, son. Pencil to paper. Focus. Timmy, focus. Focus. Take the puck. There you go. Skate. Skate. Pass it. You call that a pass? What are you doing? You missed the puck. Come on.
My experience at Stony Brook was everything. It completely changed my life.
Since coming here, I've had my conception of humanity expanded.
The most important lesson I've learned at Stony Brook is that you have to work for it and you have to take it.
The students are bringing fresh minds to the question.
We go far beyond campus confines to bring our expertise to global problems.
Stony Brook's just giving me that chance to prove my potential.
Iowa State was the place where Derek began his adventure.
Derek was one of the first students in the industrial design program.
Our apartment together was a design studio. A light bulb went off one day. I think he thought, I can design sneakers.
Derek's first study abroad experience, in fact, was in Rome.
He was able to go to London.
Did an internship in Germany.
Internship in New York City.
He designed in Chicago, and now he's on his way to design in California.
To see the excitement in Derek's face when he was moving to California is amazing. For Derek, it's a dream come true.
Enjoy your adventure at Iowa State. Visit ChooseYourAdventure.net.
And we are back at the Comerica Center in Frisco, Texas on the ACHA Hockey Network. Just finished up with a few words from our sponsors there, Todd. And what do you want to talk about with this Iowa State defense?
The play of Olson, Sandy, Paulson, really good job. Hallbach, I mean, they're just doing a tremendous job on defense, and you can add Marcus Silly in there, just staying, keeping the puck along the boards, doing an excellent job. The defense set up the offense on the first goal though, by Banser on the assist from Sabo, and that's where we stand, 1-0 here to start the second period.
Yeah, early turnover there in the period. Sabo with a long lead pass, able to hit it to Banser, and he pots one into the net. And that leaves us where we are right now with Iowa State winning that draw. Iowa State going from right to left, Stony Brook going from left to right. And we have an icing just 10 seconds into period number 2.
Well, Iowa State, you know, we talked about how successful they were to start in the first period, excuse me. Now we got to talk about Stony Brook. What they need to do is they need to get the puck up and down like fast break basketball, start getting the puck in the slot, and start getting that trio of Belger, Riccardi, and Ronaldo going.
Yep, Iowa State wants to slow it down. Stony Brook wants to speed it up. Iowa State streaking in there and a shot looking for the back door of that goal, unable to find it. And this one comes all the way back out where it'll be gathered by Hallbach.
Iowa State doing a good job picking and choosing their situations when to pick up the pace for themselves to turn their defense into offense.
Stony Brook forcing a turnover, and down goes a man there. And Iowa State regaining possession and a lead pass, and here it goes on a breakaway, and a shot and a big save there. A great opportunity for Uglum. Leading scorer, showed you why.
Again, defense leading to offense, and Stony Brook is not getting back. They're not getting back on defense. They keep moving up. They can become offensive minded, and it's allowing an Iowa State player to streak through to get the puck for a breakaway.
That puck coming all the way down for an icing.
You're Stony Brook. You've got to keep someone back. You may not used to playing that style, but you've got to keep your defenseman back a little bit more today, because Iowa State, any chance they look, they're looking to get the breakaway down the ice.
Yep, Iowa State playing that counterattack offense. Stony Brook just looking to find some kind of offense.
And a good job on Shipman making the stop, because he's the back end of the defense.
Now it's pinned up along the far corner boards. A few players gathered together there trying to rip it out. Finally, Iowa State does so, but Stony Brook takes it right back, and lost in his skates there, but finally able to find it is Belger. Belger works it ahead, and now bringing it into the zone is Pepe. Pepe with a shot, and that one patted aside, and that one gobbled up by Gadecki.
Again, Gadecki can see it. Gadecki can see it. No traffic in front of the net. He did allow the puck to squirt loose, which is not good, but he was fast enough to be able to cover up before he had any trouble. And Stony Brook's not getting, again, any traffic in front of the net. They're getting shots that Gadecki can see, and if they see it, he can stop it.
Offensive zone draw for Stony Brook, and it is won by Iowa State, but Stony Brook able to gather possession there relatively quickly, and they have it back, and they're looking to work one cross ice. That doesn't work. And now a little bit of a battle for the puck between O'Brien and Paulson. And finally it kicks free, and it winds up on the stick of O'Brien. O'Brien passing one out in front, it's loose. Now cycling around with it there is Moore. Moore wanted Pepe, but unable to find him, and it winds up back into possession of Uglum. Uglum passing, and that pass goes off of Pepe, and it's back in the possession of Stony Brook. That pass trying to go cross ice there for Belger, but that off the mark, and back on it now are the Cyclones. Belger bringing it into the zone. He lets a bomb go, and that one almost going for far side there, but a good flex of the pad from Gadecki. Iowa State looking for that counterattack now. They're bringing it in. Now they'll slow it up and try to get that cycle going. Stony Brook able to gather possession, and they have a 3-on-2 coming here if they hurry with it. Ricardo unable to control that pass. Looked to be a little bit cute going between the legs, and that didn't work out. Now a shot.
That was Stony Brook's best opportunity of the second period, and they didn't take advantage of it. They actually had Iowa State on its heels, had a 3-on-2. The pass wasn't crisp. He had kind of reached for that backhand there, and he wasn't able to, make the extra pass for the breakaway.
Face off now in that Iowa State offensive end. Face off won by the Cyclones, but they mishandle it. And now Stony Brook looking to win the race to that puck. And flying down the ice there was Dolan. He's got a lot of speed.
And Hallbach's the one that came up with that puck to create, to keep it out of trouble.
Now Dolan forcing a turnover, having a good shift right now. He winds up losing an edge there. And a turnover forced right in front of us by Slevin. Slevin on it now, and he brings it into the zone. He leaves it off for Dolan. Dolan working his way through. He backhands one on frame. No issue for Gadecki, as that was a very sharp angle shot.
Good progress here by Stony Brook in the last couple of minutes. They're actually taking it to Iowa State a little bit here, keeping the pressure on them in their own end.
Stony Brook with Dolan looking to work it ahead. Dolan just chips it in. Going after it is Ronaldo. That one passed along before Ronaldo could even get down there. And now Iowa State with it in their own defensive end. Casilli chips one ahead, and bringing it in now is Grolum. Grolum bringing it around behind. Looking for a bit of help. All he finds is a sea of red jerseys, and that will lead to Stony Brook possession. And now battled for by that Iowa State forecheck. Both teams continuing to duel for that puck, and finally it comes away in Stony Brook's possession with Heffernan. Heffernan turning it back over, and Iowa State chips it in deep once again. Now with it is Kawicki. Kawicki goes for Heffernan. Heffernan's lead pass looking for Ronaldo. He's able to just spear it, and he'll go off for a change, and Iowa State will regain possession. That one chips up high and out of play, and that will lead to a faceoff.
Now we're just going back and forth here. It got ugly again the last couple sequences, which is again an Iowa State favor. Keeping along the boards, keeping Stony Brook to having the puck open out the slot so they can take a shot. And Gadecki was busy there for a little bit to start the period. The last couple of possessions, he hasn't been busy at all.
Well, maybe Stony Brook can make him busy once again here as they have an offensive zone face-off. And that draw is won by the Cyclones.
Iowa State winning a lot of face-offs in their own end. That favors them big time as this hockey game goes along.
Dempsey passing over to Pepe. That one works in deep there. Chikrin looking to play it ahead, unable to do so. And Iowa State coming in now. Little pass back across the net mouth. Unable to get to it, though, is Azevedo. Iowa State still with it in their offensive end. They twisted along, looking for Lee, unable to find him. Now with it is Rogers. Rogers getting taken to the ice. And now Lee. Lee, backhand try. And now it's back around behind the net. Lee looking for some help. He with a drop pass there. And that one now spun along by Erickson. Good shift here for Stony Brook. Or sorry, for Iowa State. Iowa State with a shot, and that one goes in, and that one patted aside. Lee back on it. Iowa State still with possession.
Got traffic in front of the net there. That's what you want when you get a shot inside the blue line.
Got a bit of a scrum for that puck right in front of your camera, right in your living room. These players battle for it, and finally Lee has it, but only momentarily, and we're back to slumming it up along the wall. Both these teams still battling for possession along the boards. Finally, Iowa State comes away with it, and they'll just chip it in deep where it's taken by Stony Brook, and they'll finally change. It was a long offensive shift.
Sure it was. For Iowa State, it was excellent.
Puck chipping off the half wall there. Now it gets spun in deep there, looking to spin it along was Dolan, unable to do so.
You look at the numbers in this hockey game, and you think Stony Brook's the one that's going to like to score it up, and everything like that. Iowa State doesn't have a great offense, so to speak, but defense wins games and wins championships, and right now this is Iowa State's game at the moment.
We have a player down injured, I believe, is the cause for that stoppage. It's number 27 on Stony Brook, Chekrin.
Going to get our first penalty of the game.
That's probably more the reason for the stoppage than Chekrin down there on all fours. Moore heading to the box, and a power play for Iowa State. And with their defense playing like it has been, power play goal here, and Stony Brook might be in trouble.
You go up 2 and you're a defensive-minded team. That's what you want, because now you have them taking even more chances to try to get back in the hockey game.
Worked its way around behind for Azevedo.
more, 2 minutes for roughing on the penalty there.
Sandy passing off for Azevedo. He goes for Olsen. Olsen feints a shot. He goes back to Sandy. Sandy for Olsen. Olsen passing for Uglum, and he goes cross ice there. And now Sandy with a bomb. And that one doesn't find its way on target.
That's just too deep in the slot. The defensemen have got to come up more, allowing him right there in the slot.
Olsen feints a bomb, and now he goes for the slap pass. That doesn't work. Azevedo back on it.
Well, if you're Olsen there, why don't you just take a couple of more steps with a skate and come in on him if they're going to allow you to do that?
Uglum with a one-timer there from the high slot. That one right into the chest of Shipman, and that's a routine save. It
is a routine save, and defensively, it's blowing my mind why Stony Brook allowed him to get that close, and then why the Iowa State player didn't come in a couple more steps and skate in with it a little bit more and shoot it closer to the goal.
Iowa State twisting one along as they win the draw, and it's now in the possession of Goggin. Goggin working it around behind. With it there is Hallbach. Hallbach banking one off the end wall. Now that one comes all the way back to the blue line. Hallbach streaking, able to get to it, and now he blocks one to keep it in the zone, and Stony Brook will finally work it out at the halfway point of this power play.
That puts a lot of stress on your hockey club if you can't clear the puck, and they were having a lot of trouble. They finally cleared it with less than a minute to go in the power play.
Now bringing it into the zone is Erickson. Erickson pinned off along the boards. And now they battle for it in that near corner. Two players dueling for the puck, and Stony Brook able to work it out once again, and that'll allow them to go off for a change as that puck is gone and recovered by Goggin.
Boy, Iowa State slowly setting up here. They're letting precious seconds come off the clock in this power play.
Now bringing it in from cross ice, and a quick shot there from Olsen. The Iowa State working that first power play line back on.
Everything this Iowa State team seems to do, everything's methodical. You know, they're not in a hurry to really do a whole lot. Just slug the game along and do the little things to win hockey games.
Olsen going across for Sandy as we are back at even strength now. And a pass right out in front, a good shot there, and he scores! Azevedo with the pass from Uglum, and those are the two leading scorers. They combine to put one in the back of the net.
Just what the doctor ordered if you're Iowa State. You got it right there in the slot, about 8 feet out. I felt sorry for Shipman there. Not a lot of chance. I mean, you know, they didn't have a whole lot of traffic in front of the net, but it was a sweet pass, and it was quick. And now it's a huge goal in this hockey game. You go up 2. Now what does Stony Brook do? Do they take more chances? I think they stick with their formula and try to play a little bit more defensively and get their offense, their forwards to get going and play a little bit better defense.
Sevlin working it in deep, and it's taken there by Iowa State. Iowa State kicking one back out. And now they've got it still in their defensive end. Stony Brook trying to regain possession, and now will do so back at center ice. That one passed ahead there by Slevin, but taken there by Iowa State. The Cyclones with it in their defensive end, looking to get some offense going is Paulson. Paulson twisted down to the ice, and they battle for it along the far side boards right in front of the benches. Ronaldo with it. Ronaldo passing one out in front, unable to find line mate Peck. Now it's chipped in deep by Lee and controlled around behind and spun off the boards.
You know, if you're Iowa State, you got a goal from a player who hadn't scored a whole lot earlier in Banser, and now you get a goal from one of your top liners, you know, one of your top players in Azevedo. So this is exactly what you wanted.
Iowa State working it down low once again, looking for that pass lane out in front. It's loose in front. They take a shot, and that one, I don't think Godecki even saw it, or even, I don't know who got a piece of it, but somehow it stayed out. Rebound try, they're jacking at it again, and it's in the back of the net. Iowa State with just a grimy, greasy goal, and it's 3-0.
Doing all the dirty work, whether it's in the corner, whether it's in the slot, whether it's in the crease, putting the pressure on Shipman, and again, he really didn't have any chance. And now they're up 3, And the pace of this hockey game is Iowa State all the way, as the Seawolves only have 10 shots on goal with 9:39 to go in the second period.
And we are going to step aside here in a second. We're looking at a replay real quick of that goal. And I mean, if you look, poor Shipman, he doesn't even have a chance to breathe. Or it's a Stony Brook timeout, not immediate timeout. But yeah, Shipman without even a chance to breathe. There's that one opportunity, and Iowa State gets right back on the puck. They throw it right back into that mixing bowl, and they just jab at it and fight for that puck, and finally it kicks loose and able to pop it into the back, and then that there is Grolum.
Grolum the grinder. I mean, he's just chipping away, and nobody from Stony Brook is getting a body on him to get him away from the puck, and it was an easy goal for him. Yeah, you had to make maximum effort, but it was easy because it was a foot away.
And if you're the coach of Iowa State, that's something you love to see from a guy like Grolum. He's 5'9". It's not like he's some, behemoth parking himself right in that blue paint. As a little guy, he's not afraid to go in there and mix it up with the big boys.
I'll take a kid like Grolum on my team every day of the week, twice on Sunday, the Fargo, North Dakota native, or South Dakota, excuse me.
Face off won by Stony Brook. They have possession right now at neutral territory. Looking to pass one ahead there, but unable to hit the mark of Belger. They continue to battle for the puck. Both teams dueling for it, and it finally kicks free where it's still controlled now by Stony Brook. Stony Brook working it down low, and a backhand try, and a good chance there. Solid shot from Riccardi. Now Stony Brook looking to work it back in. O'Brien twisting it along, and a backhand try there from Belger, and that one will just be gobbled up and covered by Gadecki.
Back to the goal. That was only his third of the season by Grolum. In these type of games, that's what you get, unsung heroes.
And we are going to step aside here from the Comerica Center. Quinn Kuski alongside of Todd Corder, that you are watching the ACHA National Tournament on the ACHA YouTube network.
The 2019 ACHA National Championships are brought to you by Barron Championship Rings, proud sponsor and championship ring provider for the ACHA. Warrior Sports, the preferred stick supplier of the ACHA. The Dallas Stars. For tickets and more information, visit dallasstars.com. And Southwest Airlines, the official event airline partner of the 2019 ACHA National Championships.
We are back to the action here at the Comerica Center as Iowa State has it in their defensive zone.
Good surge there by Stony Brook off the faceoff.
Now racing after it is Iowa State, and that is Sabo. He has one of the assists tonight. That puck kicks free out into the high slot and then grabbed by Stony Brook, and they'll race back into the zone there with Belger. Belger sending one out in front. No shot ever came from it. Belger still with it. He sends one cross ice for Pepe. Pepe fakes a drive. Now he floats one, and that one will just be gloved like a routine fly ball there and covered up by Gadecki.
Gadecki, the center fielder on that play. So, that was a good sequence. After now that Stony Brook is down 3-0, you see some urgency. And let's see if they continue to play that way. And I think they needed to play like that from the very beginning of this hockey game. They did coming out at the very beginning, but after the first 2 minutes, Iowa State, they have carried this game.
Now, Iowa State playing some very exhausting defense here against Stony Brook. And now they have possession once again with Erickson. Erickson backhands one. That one Patterson rebound out. And that's a scary rebound right there off that far pad.
Sure is. Iowa State goes up 4, and Stony Brook is almost done.
Now going in after it there is Rogers. That one backhanded along just past Alcott. And now it's taken by Stony Brook. Stony Brook working it ahead. Putting on the brakes there and just sending it around the boards is Crockett. Crockett leaves one off for Murphy. Murphy pulling one away, and it's taken by Iowa State. Finally, Stony Brook getting back on it. They send it back around the boards for Paul Mary. Paul Mary goes for Murphy. Murphy to the back for a one-timer and just fanned on there. A good chance for Kasha, but he didn't get all that puck.
Well, the Iowa State defender got a piece of it with his stick, and look at him hustling to go and to get it. Away from the play, he realized he had enough time to be able to do that. And, you know, we talked about this is Iowa State's good chance in a very long time of winning the national championship. And when I look at the teams that are still in the tournament that are up there, like we saw on yesterday, Iowa State plays this style, even though it's contrasting from the other teams. They could possibly win this tournament.
Yeah, winner of this game goes on to play the Ohio Bobcats. And I'll tell you right now, if we see Iowa State playing like that against Ohio, I think they'll go on to win that game as well.
Well, every game has its own pace and its own pace and everything dictating. I mean, it can change. I mean, Ohio they definitely have the players to force Iowa State into things that they don't want to do. I think it would be a great matchup.
Now a slap shot from the point, that one blocked by Stony Brook, and that's what you love to see. Down 3 goals, still diving in front of shots. Now it's worked ahead and racing forward is Stony Brook with a good opportunity and a backhand try there. And Slevin just didn't get much of that. A great opportunity racing in on the wing and just a little soft backhand.
Well, good defense is the defense that forced him to do it. I thought maybe he would pass the puck back out in the high slot, but he didn't see the other player skating in.
Yeah, 2-on-1 opportunity, not recognizing that was Slevin, and winds up having his stick jabbed on that backhand try.
The reason he's not recognized is because he's being tied up and he's forced to take that little weak shot because the Iowa State defense is there to force him to do that.
Iowa State now going after it into their offensive end. Stony Brook battling for possession of it. That kicks free and gets jabbed back down low there. And finally it kicks free where Stony Brook will take it momentarily.
Well, Iowa State just laying the body in the corner. There's a big hit.
Yeah, right as we started to talk about Iowa State laying the body, Stony Brook just goes, "What about me?" and lays a big hit right there.
Chuck Rand gave him the business there, and I think that maybe will wake up a team like Stony Brook, who so far has been on the receiving end of the blows in the checking game.
Yeah, it definitely woke up poor Marcus Silly. Marcus Silly might have got knocked silly with that check.
Maybe, but I tell you what, Iowa State, this is what they want to do. They want you to hit them because they're going to hit you back, and they believe they can hit you better than they can get hit. I mean, they're the ones that they want to go. They have a boxer's mentality. They just want to continue to hit, bring your best shot because I believe mine is better than yours.
Olsen passing across there. And now bringing it into the zone is Iowa State. And that one's ripped off by Stony Brook and Riccardi.
Stony Brook's got to get something going here, put some pressure on them in the offensive end, get some kind of tic-tac-toe play, a one-timer, something to move the puck to make Iowa State start chasing them, and they're not doing it.
Yeah, Stony Brook, they've been trying to lean on that long stretch pass all night. And that long stretch pass has been an icing more often than it has been a connection.
It's not going to work against this defensive-oriented team. Now, if you flip the script, Iowa State's doing it to Stony Brook because their forwards are pinching up more.
That puck going down into the offensive end. Stony Brook has it with a 3-on-1 here. That shot rebound out in front and just unable, one Iowa State defender able to block off 2 passing lanes. They're really well defended. Now Iowa State with a couple rebound tries. That one's still loose. Shipman panicking a little bit there. That almost reminded me of that 3rd goal.
Well, Shipman failed to cover it up, and it almost costed him.
Stony Brook working it around into that corner. 2 Iowa State defensemen, 2 Stony Brook forwards looking to dig that puck out. Now we got 3-on-3 down there. One of the two coaches not too happy that that puck was in the corner. And now Iowa State has it.
If you're Iowa State head coach Jason Fairman, you have got to be thrilled that your players are winning about 90% of the battle along the board. You've got to be thrilled because you know that you're going to win this hockey game if it continues.
Offensive zone draw now for Iowa State. Azevedo on it for the Cyclones.
You know what's impressed me the most is they haven't had a penalty all game. Everything's clean, everything's hard, everything's aggressive.
You just jinxed it, Todd. Now they're going to get one.
Of course.
That puck getting worked around behind. Chasing after it there was Palmieri.
Oh, don't worry. As soon as it happens, I'm sure my wife will send me a text later on today. Boy, every face-off out here in the neutral zone or in Stony Brook's end just favors Iowa even more. Iowa State even more.
This face-off won by Stony Brook. They're able to work this into the zone. Going after it there is Palmieri. Palmieri sending one back up to the blue line. And it goes back to Palmieri, who just chips it in deep. And trying to stop it there was Gagel, but unable to do so, and that one will wind up going all the way down for an icing.
And see, it's an icing, but to me, it's a win for Iowa State. They'll just shoot it down the ice, regroup, win the face-off, and bring it out to the neutral zone. They don't care if they ice the puck. You know, a team like Stony Brook would care that they ice the puck, but not Iowa State.
Slevin on the draw for Stony Brook. And it is now taken by Iowa State. They've been able to gather that possession a little bit quicker. They had a breakaway.
You're peppy. You got to win that battle there. You lost that little battle, which ends up being a big battle because they have the puck and you're in.
Iowa State with a cross-ice pass that just goes a bit off the mark, winds up kicking the puck back out to neutral zone. And now they'll work it back in where Pepe will take it.
14 shots on goal. That's it. 8 in the first period, 6 so far. It's just even working better for Iowa State.
Stony Brook banking one along the boards. That one comes up to the blue line for Olsen. Olsen taking a shot. That one not finding its way all the way through. Pepe now just long flip that one out of the zone and trying to get in there, and there's the penalty.
For tripping, it looks like.
Yeah.
Sure was. And that's what the doctor ordered for Stony Brook. Flip the puck out in the neutral zone, try to get some type of breakaway, and now you're on the power play, which favors you greatly in your style. Yeah, I just mentioned, 2 minutes ago that Iowa State was out of the box? And look who goes in the box.
Grolum, the goal scorer from earlier.
Right. So I'm sure I'm going to get a text from my wife. Hey, it'll come any moment while she's at my son's volleyball match in the Metro Atlanta area.
Face-off won by Stony Brook. Now they'll start up the cycle.
Against the Cyclones.
With it there is Belger.
Don't hold it, get rid of it. You got him right there, 75. Move that puck around, tic-tac-toe.
Belger, Kasha with a shot, and that one patted aside.
You stand there with it and hold it. Iowa State's like, keep doing it, please.
Pepe passing ahead for Belger. Belger goes back to Pepe. Pepe, right-handed defenseman. That one kicks it all the way back out, and Belger will go down to retrieve. Settled by Shipman. Now it is controlled by Belger, and Stony Brook will start back up the attack.
It's a critical part of the hockey game. I think Stony Brook must score here.
Gets worked around behind. Stony Brook battling for it behind the cage. Hideki watching on as Ronaldo sends it up to the blue line. Now it goes back to Ronaldo. Ronaldo with a shot, and that one patted aside. Never found its way through.
Every reset, everything out in the neutral zone, just a gigantic win for Iowa State.
Heck working it into the zone. He just flips one in deep. Going after it there is Ronaldo. Ronaldo using that big body to box out an Iowa State defenseman, passed it out in front, but intercepted by Iowa State, and they'll clear it out of the zone.
Azavaldo doing the little things that win hockey games. Look at him get on the ice, get his body on there, sacrifice his body for that puck, and get it out of his own end. You got to just love it if you're a head coach.
Only 10 more seconds remaining in this power play for Stony Brook. 1 minute to go in the frame. Now a pass out in front, and that one just deflects up high and is gloved down. Now a feinted shot there from Slevin. They'll go back to him, and he'll let one go well wide. Might have missed the broadside of a barn with that one-timer. Just didn't quite catch all of it.
Shots like that have at least got to get on the net before you have a chance to score. If you don't get it on net, you have no chance.
Now with it is Peck. Peck unable to control it there, kind of dangled himself into submission.
Good job by Peck, though, at least getting in there and doing the dirty work.
Now it's worked up to the blue line. Kasha with a shot, and that one patted aside. I think Gadecki saw that one at the last second, but just had enough time to pat it away.
At the very last second.
10 ticks to go in period number 2. Kasha with it. He'll backhand one along for Moore. Moore bringing it in with 3 seconds, and no shots going to come here. And that will do us for 2, Todd Quarter. 24-15 in shots in favor of the Cyclones, and they're up 3-0. If you're Stony Brook, how do you respond right now?
You've got to start grinding it out like Iowa State. You've got to do little things to turn into big things. I expect them here to try to take a little bit more chances to start the third period. You see their defensemen offensive-minded. I think they'll be more offensive-minded this period since they're down 3.
And, of course, if you're Iowa State, that's exactly what you want to hear.
Right, because you're going to get a breakaway and you're going to get a chance on Shipman.
Yeah, and that's how they've beaten Shipman this game, or those, like you said, like a basketball fast break. They, those breakouts, those counterattacks, that is Iowa State's game. And it's worked so far in this one, and frankly, if every game that they play, if they can slow down play and force it to be counterattack offense, I don't see them losing.
Their defense has done a tremendous job for Gadecki. They make his job easy. They haven't had a lot of scoring chances, 15 shots on goal, and probably, I'll say, 5 of them were good scoring chances, maybe 6.
Yeah, it's a generous 15 shots. You have a dump in from center ice. That's counting as a shot on goal, sure. But, and of course, if you're the goalie, you're counting that as well, because you're like, cool, I'm a stat pad myself. But that's a very generous shot. That's not something that you're ever worried about going behind you.
Stony Brook, they continue to play dump and chase on offense. They need to carry the puck in, like I said earlier, a Russian style of play in order for them to have any chance.
And for Quinn Kuski and Todd Quarter, that will do us for period number 2. We'll kick it back over to Cristiano and Justin right after these messages here on the ACHA Hockey Network.
Welcome back to the Intermission Report, your second intermission here from the Comerica Center in Frisco. 3-0 your score right now here with Cristiano Simonetta.
Simonetta, you got
Simonetta,
it. You're all right. We got it in
This
the
is
first period.
First time working together.
Hey.
I almost had to think twice.
Well, we're going to be
about it.
working together as well in the next game, too, so you're going to have to be saying it a lot.
Right, and honestly, it was all the goals that had me a little bit confused. Kind of an offensive explosion there in the second period for the Cyclones with the first goal, and then off the power play, the first goal, and then the second goal coming again. So 3-0 your score right now. Talk about the second period.
Yeah, we thought it was going to open up in that middle frame with the long change, Justin. We alluded to it a little bit in the first period intermission. We thought there were going to be a little bit of a couple more penalties called in that second period, and there were. A couple for either side. And for Stony Brook, they had a chance at the end of the second period to get a power play goal. Iowa State with a crucial kill, and they also had a couple minutes before then 2 goals in rapid succession separated by a couple minutes.
Yeah, and then power play at the end of the period for Stony Brook. 2 minutes to go. You kind of figured, okay, this is a point in the game where if they can get a goal here, make it 3-1, maybe they turn it into a game, but they just didn't get it.
Yeah, it was a turning point for me. And also, it's a 3-0 game. I understand that. We still got 20 minutes left of regulation hockey. Anything could happen in the ACHA National Tournament. But Iowa State, I think they're too good in their own zone. I think they're succinct on the ice. They're cohesive to the neutral zone. It's going to be tough to put 3 or more past Matt Gedeke in the final frame. But Stony Brook, if they can get one early, they can get another, and it starts to snowball, and Iowa State's a little bit on their heels like we saw them get at the end of the first period where Stony Brook took it to them.
Yeah, and then that second goal in the second period to make it 3-0 for the Cyclones, Jackson Graham. Stony Brook just kind of left it wide open, almost maybe a little lazy there from the Seawolves.
Yeah, you never like to see a guy in front of your net getting 1, 2, and a third whack chance past Richard Shipman. I mean, you can only do as much as a goaltender on skates, making that initial save, making the second rebound save, but you've got to get the defense in front of the crease, clearing out loose pucks, banging around bodies in front. It was just too easy for Graham, and that's why it's a 3-0 Cyclones, as well as a goal scored earlier by Aaron Azevedo.
Yeah, and there's going to be a ton of great hockey. Like you said, we're calling the next game. There's going to be a ton of great hockey all day, as there has been so far in the tournament. But you see it in this game early on. Within the first 3 minutes, we see goals, and then in the second period, 2 goals. So maybe offense might be a little bit of the name of the game today. Hopefully we see a lot of goals, a lot of offense. That's what the fans want to see.
Yeah, and I think the type of game that the fans will want to see is like Iowa State versus Stony Brook. There's passes being completed all throughout the 3 zones. It's not a sloppy game by any means. Iowa State is playing to their strengths. They know how to get the puck in deep. They know how to cycle. They know how to get shots through to the net. Stony Brook, we've seen flashes of it. We've seen their speed through the neutral zone. They use that weak side defenseman to get out of their own defensive zone. But when it comes down to it, to get past Matt Gedeke, you've got to get traffic in front. The shots have to be through traffic, but Iowa State's done a great job of clogging up that high slot and blocking them before they get to their goaltender.
Yeah, and 3 goals may be difficult. A 3-goal deficit may be too difficult to overcome here. I mean, it's win or go home, really, so you got to leave it all out for the last 20 minutes. Is there any chance that Stony Brook can find themselves back in this game with 20 minutes to go?
Well, you never say never, right? It doesn't matter in any league, any sport of hockey. It depends on the amount of effort level and compete level. Can they match Iowa State's? Can there be individual efforts like we saw Joe Slevin in that first and second period? I thought he was an electrifying force for the Seawolves in that middle frame. Wasn't able to buy one at the back of the net, but in the third period, all it takes is one, though, Justin. And then the entire game's atmosphere starts to change a little bit. The ice could tilt down at Gedeke's end in that third period, but we're still a couple minutes away from that.
So Banser, Azevedo, and Graham, your 3 goals for the Cyclones, all happening very fast on the power play. That's why they're up 3-0 right now. Again, a win could set up that divisional matchup with Ohio. Like you said, there's just something different about divisional matchups.
Yeah, you know, it's playoff hockey, number 1. Number 2, it's a team that you've seen a lot, you know a lot, and you sure as heck hate a lot. If Iowa State's able to close off this game, they'll be meeting the Ohio Bobcats in the next round, and that's going to be some must-watch hockey.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for joining us in the second intermission. We're back to the action very soon. Justin Novellis, Cristiano Simonetta.
A+.
And back to you guys in the studio.
Iowa State was the place where Derek began his adventure.
Derek was one of the first students in the industrial design program.
Our apartment together was a design studio. A light bulb went off one day. I think he thought, I can design sneakers.
Derek's first study abroad experience, in fact, was in Rome.
He was able to go to London.
Did an internship in Germany.
Internship in New York City.
He designed in Chicago, and now he's on his way to design in California.
To see the excitement in Derek's face when he was moving to California is amazing. For Derek, it's a dream come true.
Enjoy your adventure at Iowa State. Visit chooseyouradventure.net.
Come on! You know the answer. You studied for this. Come on. Timmy! Come on, Timmy. You got this, son. Pencil to paper. Focus. Come on, Timmy. Focus. Focus. Take the puck. There you go. Skate! Skate! Pass it! You call that a pass? What are you doing? You missed the puck! Come on!
Skating was hard at first. Sometimes I fell, but I always got back up. Now when I'm skating, I feel like a rocket, or maybe a race car. Something really fast. It's my second favorite feeling. Scoring is my favorite. I think I like it even more than birthday cake.
My experience at Stony Brook was everything. It completely changed my life.
Since coming here, I've had my conception of humanity expanded.
The most important lesson I've learned at Stony Brook is that you have to work for it and you have to take it.
The students are bringing fresh minds to the question.
We go far beyond campus confines to bring our expertise to global problems.
Stony Brook's just giving me that chance to prove my potential.
There are a few things that come along that change the course of history. Inventions or developments that reshape society. They usually aren't appreciated at first. In fact, they're often scoffed at. What good will that be?
Hello? Hi.
Surely that can't be practical.
She loves to see you.
But then, slowly, over time, the greatness of these achievements become manifest.
Hi!
Until one day, you ask yourself how you ever lived without them. That's the nature of turning points. They bring us to new roads and new heights. They open doors we never thought possible. So it's important that we go forward together.
I'm here with Gina.
That our growth might not just benefit the great, but the good also. In small ways, and in grand ones.
Dad. The test of our progress is not whether we add more to the abundance of those who have much. It is whether we provide enough for those who have too little.
At Wilson Electronics, we push every day to amplify the power of communication, to connect those who love and those who cannot live without it.
Dallas, Texas, in a stadium that has been sold out for months, the Cotton Bowl.
Notre Dame leading 17-14. 1:10 remaining in the game, and Texas with Street at quarterback. Street gets to the second man for a touchdown for Texas.
The 2020 Bridgestone NHL Winter Classic, an annual celebration of hockey's heritage. Tickets on sale April 23rd. The Cotton Bowl, New Year's Day. It's gonna be a classic.
The Dallas Stars, have put on camps like this, and we're just really trying to build hockey in the communities around Dallas.
Learn to skate and play hockey for free at Children's Health Star Centers. All throughout DFW, kids ages 4 to 14 can join Rookies programs presented by Lexus. Equipment is included and kids will get a free jersey to take home. For more information, visit dallasstars.com/rookies.
And we are back at the Comerica Center in downtown Frisco, Texas. I'm Quinn Kuski alongside Todd Corder on the ACHA Hockey Network as Iowa State takes on Stony Brook. Winner of this game will go on to play the winner of Ohio UNLV, which was Ohio. So winners taking on the Bobcats later today. Next game, 1:30, we got Minot State, Illinois. Winner plays Adrian. And Adrian, they're the defending champions in this tournament. They're going to be tough to beat. And then our 5 o'clock game, we got number 7 Davenport against number 10 Central Oklahoma. Winner of that's going to take on Michigan Dearborn. If Davenport's to win that game, you got 2 top 10 teams pretty early in this tournament. That's going to be a fun matchup. And then the last game of the day, the 8:30 game, will be number 1 Lindenwood will face the winner of number 8 Liberty and number 9 Arizona. And that's going to be an exciting matchup too.
Well, they're all going to be exciting matchups. Stay with us here on the ACHA Network via YouTube TV all day for the action here from Frisco, Texas, a suburb of Dallas about 25 miles north of the city. Come on out. Plenty of tickets available if you're in the area. To start this third period, Stony Brook has got to pick up the pace of this hockey game, play with some desperation, and to try to get back in it. And they need to take it in increments. Not, don't try to get 3 goals all at once. Look at each period, 5 minutes apiece each time, and try to get a goal every 5 minutes.
Ice puck there from Stony Brook, and that's exactly what you want if you're Iowa State early in this period. 9 seconds in, but right away, offensive zone draw.
1 shot at a time, 1 pass at a time, 1 score at a time. And that's how you're going to have to do it if you're Stony Brook.
Face-off won by Stony Brook. They twist it around and right to the Cyclones. Uglum, he sends it in deep. This puck battled for. A few players looking to rip it away. It's battled for and finally pulled away there by Stony Brook. And now they'll pass along. Paul Mary's pass a little bit off the mark, and that will wind up going to Olsen. Olsen battling for that puck, and it kicks free and is taken by the Cyclones. Racing in now is Sabo. Sabo with an assist on the night, and then almost had another one right there. A good chance out in front. Up to the blue line, and a good shot there from Uglum. That one patted away. And now a cross-ice pass, and in comes Paul Mary. Paul Mary steps up and takes a shot, and that one's saved. Gadecki with a good stop there.
The pace is favoring Stony Brook here to start the first minute and 7 seconds of this third period. It's a little bit more wide open than it was in the first 2 periods, and I expect that for the rest of the period, for the rest of this hockey game, especially if Stony Brook is going to get back in it, even though Iowa State had a good chance on that in there and a good save by Shipman.
If you're Stony Brook right now, you need one, and soon, because if you can rock Iowa State back on their heels, maybe you get in the head of Gadecki, who he's been playing good so far.
Well, we're ready to go with a face-off.
Face-off one up into the glass, and a solid hit there from Iowa State.
It's been solid all game. Only one penalty. I think Stony Brook's only had one penalty thus far.
Yeah,
So
it's been a very clean game.
Cleanest game of the tournament thus far.
Putting on the brakes there is Moore, and he passes it along. And now it's taken there by Sabo. Sabo looking to work one out in front, unable to do so, and Stony Brook will take over possession. And they'll jab one along and racing after it there, and a slap shot, but that one blocked off. No chance there for Stony Brook. Now the puck getting worked around behind, and a sharp angle try. And that one kicks back out into the corner. And that one sent in deep there by ACHA. Now Iowa State, they work it ahead. Trying to do a little 1-2 give and go. That doesn't work. And now it's taken by ACHA. ACHA twisting around. He'll pass one ahead there for Slevin. Slevin going cross ice, was looking for Peck, unable to find him, and that one just sent in deep by Ronaldo. Iowa State with possession. They battle for it along the end boards, and they will come away with it. Iowa State's pass there intercepted, and Ronaldo just rips it back in around the wall. And now Stony Brook looking to work it out in front, and he goes down. There's a tripping minor upcoming, and that puck deflects up into the netting, and this is what you need if you're Stony Brook.
Exactly. Now you must score on the power play. This is where we talked about scoring a goal every 5 minutes. This is your chance to get a goal in the first 5 minutes of the third period.
And Marcasilli going to the box. That's one of the penalty-killing defensemen for Iowa State. That's not someone you want in the box.
No, it's not, but you don't want anyone in the box here. It's about numbers at this point, 5-on-4, and you got to have a goal here if you're Stony Brook. No question about it.
O'Brien versus Azevedo. Face-off won by Azevedo, and it goes right into the corner. There they are, right in your living room, battling for the puck. You see players on the ice, and finally it kicks free out to neutral. Slevin from center ice. He passes it ahead, and that one taken there by Moore, and it's instantly chopped back out, and Slevin will come to settle. Slevin from his own defensive end now. He passes across for Moore. Moore looking to step by. And unable to do so, and maybe a shorthanded opportunity here for Iowa State. Passed across, and that pass just off the mark. Kind of handcuffed his line mate there.
Good job on the back check in the neutral zone.
And Stony Brook here on the power play, but they can't even get it into the end. And now maybe here they come, and yep, Kasha brings it into the zone. And he sends it around the boards. Kasha just cycling, looking for a shooting lane, and finally pulls the trigger. And that one, pretty routine save for Gadecki.
No
and he'll
traffic
cover up.
in front of the net. I mean, he can see it. It's from about, 20 feet out. Top of the circle, high slot. And it's not a problem for a goalie of his caliber.
Feeling like a broken record here, Todd. It seems like every shot Stony Brook takes, routine save, got to get traffic in front. We've been saying it all night, and it just hasn't changed.
And they don't change it. They're not gonna get back in this hockey game.
Ronaldo passing across for Pepe. Pepe going down low. With it there is Kasha. Kasha pulling the trigger on a shot. That one going wide. And Kasha unable to glove that one down, going all out for it, but having to come out and settle it now is Shipman.
You got to show some urgency. 30 seconds left in this power play. You got to move.
Now Pepe passing ahead. And this one lugged into the zone. A shot there. That one going wide, a decent chance there for Belger. But now Iowa State bringing it out, and they have a 2-on-1 here. Second one of this kill. And there's a shot, and score! And guess who it is? Grolum with his second of the game.
And only his 4th of the season and his 8th point. We talked about players that were not stars coming up big in big moments, and that was huge for Iowa State. Is an hour of 4-0 with 15:32 to go on a shorthanded goal. They're able to get it out of their own end, and honestly, Stony Brook, they just didn't get back on defense. I mean, you've got to get back on defense.
Grolum with our second shorthanded goal of the tournament. You're seeing a replay of it here, just coming in on the 2-on-1 and just pops it right into that 5-hole of Shipman. See it right here through the goal cam. Shipman geared up for it and it was just blasted right under that left pillow. Never got it down flush to the ice, and they made him pay.
And he's given up 4 goals today, and 2 of them, I believe, he should have stopped. The other 2, he didn't have a chance.
Stony Brook with a pass out in front, and that was probably one of their higher quality chances of the game, but pretty good save there from Gadecki.
Well, and he didn't let a loose rebound, and that's the key. You know, the first goal of the game by Banser should have been stopped, and the fourth one of the goal by Grolem should have been stopped by Shipman. The other 2, no chance at all. But those, yeah, you know, but it's part of the game. All players have up and down games, and this one here is a down game for Stony Brook.
Face-off won by Stony Brook, and that bomb goes up off the pads of Gadecki and out of play, and we'll have another draw.
Not only did you not score on the power play, you gave up a goal. It was a disaster for Stony Brook, but there's 15 minutes left, so you've really got a lot of work to do. You can get back in it, but your chances are not good.
Face-off won there by Iowa State. Now it's battled for in the corner. If you're Iowa State, you'll let them hang out here as long as they want.
You can hang them out for about 15 minutes. Just let them sit here, run that clock out, and it'll be over. Iowa State's mentality right here is defense, defense, defense. Don't do anything silly to let them back in the hockey game.
Dempsey with it there, trying to pull the trigger on a shot, but just slightly fanning on it, and Iowa State will chip it back out.
Great job by Paulson.
That'll go all the way down for an icing, which is not great news if you're Iowa State. Those were tired players on the ice, and they got to stay on now.
It's just a great job. You just took the puck and got rid of it and allowed your team to get it, you know, get set, get a change, line change, and you're fine with this. This is Iowa State hockey.
Yep. So we got the fresh legs now of Stony Brook against the tired legs of Iowa State. Possibly a good chance here if Stony Brook can win this draw. And they do so. Longer they keep possession, the longer Iowa State's stuck in their own end with tired legs. And now Iowa State will bring it out, and now they can make their change. They bring it into the zone and pull the trigger on a shot, and that one almost found its way home just off the mark. Great shot there from Rogers.
Again, a breakaway on a face-off in their own end. We've seen this tune all game long.
With it now is Iowa State from their own defensive end. They pass across, and Rogers has it. Rogers flips one cross ice and bring it in and off the pipe. A great chance there for the Cyclones to go up 5-0 and just about put this game away. But that one rings off the post. Now they've got it again down low. And another shot there. That went off the mask of Shipman. And they pull the trigger on another shot, and that one blocked off out in front. And Stony Brook just trying to put out the fire, send one all the way down, and they'll ice the puck.
You would think that Iowa State was down 4-0. I mean, they're the ones peppering Shipman, peppering with every shot. And at Stony Brook, they're down in their own end, down 4 goals. And Iowa State, they smell blood like a shark. And right now, they're just going to try to finish them off.
Well, I mean, if you're Iowa State, I guess the best defense is a great offense in some cases. You just stay down here and it stays in your offensive end. I don't think Stony Brook's scoring from 200 feet away.
Well, they make their defense turn into their offense. They don't have a high-powered offense, but they with a great defense, it can turn into a good offense.
Paul back with it from his own defensive end. He sends it in for Sabo. Sabo with a shot. That puck's loose still, and is still kicking around, and finally covered up there by Shipman. Probably a bit of a heart attack there as that puck kicked free.
What can Shipman do? He's been busy this third period.
And we're looking at 27-19 in shots in favor of Iowa State.
And those stats don't even tell the hockey game. Iowa State has dominated the game except for small, short, 1-minute spurts.
Face-off won by Azevedo. That one trying to work it in deep there is Olsen. Now it'll work back in there for Uglum, but he's unable to get to it, and now the Seawolves have possession. Call is a high stick. And is anyone going to play it? And finally we have the whistle.
I was waiting that for myself there. I tell you what, these teams that are in this tournament that are left, the Adrians, the Ohios, the Michigan Dearborns, Davenport, Central Oklahoma, Lindenwood. Watch out for Iowa State. Of all the teams that I've seen thus far, I'm most impressed with Iowa State, especially on the defensive end, because that's how you win championships.
Well, Iowa State, they're the 5 seed in this tournament. They were the 5 seed in the Big 12 basketball tournament, and they won that. So maybe history is here to repeat itself on the ice instead of the hardwood.
The difference is the basketball team is out of the NCAA tournament, first round.
Penalty coming up here to Iowa State. Just a slash behind the play there. And Stony Brook just trying to keep that cycle going. If you can get one here on this delayed penalty, you've got a man advantage. And never mind about that as Iowa State touches up. But in the ACHA rules, they're a bit different from the NHL. If you score on a delayed penalty, you still get your power play.
That would have been huge, but that didn't happen, obviously. But, you know, here's another situation for Stony Brook. 2 Iowa State penalties. They only had 1 the whole game going into the third period. I've jinxed them the last 10 minutes. They've had 3 penalties now. So this is your chance to try to make one last rush to get back in this hockey game, and it's a must.
Down 4-0, 12 minutes left. You want to break it down. They need a goal every 3 minutes, and considering the fact that we're almost 50 minutes into this game and they don't have one, that's easier said than done.
Your chances are slim. There was a good chance right there, deflected right off the skate there, and almost had a shot for Stony Brook. That was Ronaldo. He almost got a goal there.
Pepe from the blue line letting one go. They're seeming like they're changing up their power play, looking for blue line shots with deflections and traffic out in front. Maybe they finally started listening to the broadcast, heard what we had to say about, you know, if you can see it, you can stop it. Pepe battling for it right at the entrance to the zone. And now it's brought in and a shot pulled. And he just pulled it a little bit too hard, gripping the stick just a bit too tight there as Belger. Now Ronaldo at the blue line. He goes down low for Belger. That one handcuffs him a bit, and he's unable to gain possession. Ronaldo back with it. Ronaldo to the blue line for Kasha. Rebound out in front. Belger trying to get to it, and it kicks around behind the net. Penalty upcoming, and we will have a stoppage. The referee's going, make sure things are cleared out. High stick coming up against Stony Brook.
Just an unnecessary penalty here. I mean, you're down 4-0. You're on the power play, and now you're going in the box. Now it's 4-on-4 instead of 5-on-4, and guess what? And in about a minute and 2, Iowa State's going to have a power play for 58 seconds.
Yeah, I would argue that 4-on-4 would favor Stony Brook, but most of the things that I've thought would favor Stony Brook this game just simply haven't. So
it's about
I don't
effort.
think I know what I think I know.
It's about effort, and Iowa State is out-hustled Stony Brook 10 times to 1 here today. They've just out-hustled them. They want the hockey game more.
Kasha going for that dump and chase style, and Pepe being the first one to it. He's got the help of Peck. Pepe and Peck around behind. Peck rips it away, and he sends it up to the blue line. Losing an edge there was Slavin. Now he takes a shot through traffic. That one never found its way through. Iowa State back with it.
I like the fact that Stony Brook is finally starting to get traffic in front of the net. That to me is good progress.
Halbach on it for the Cyclones. He passes ahead, and now it's lugged into the zone by Alcott. Alcott with a shot, and that one patted away there by Shipman. Now it's dumped into the zone by Hefferon. Going in after it there is Palmieri, but now we are
5-on-4.
Yep, you beat me to it there. Power play now for the Cyclones.
If they get one here, it's over. I'm a believer that you play until the final whistle, buzzard, or whatever you want to call it, horn, but you're down 5-0. You're playing for pride at that point.
And right now, feeding the hot hand, Grolem on this power play. He was not on the power play lineup earlier in the game, but he's got 2 tonight. Maybe they're trying to get him that 3rd.
He gets a hat trick. That'll be the story of this contest.
Now the puck worked out deep. That'll go all the way down to be settled by Gadecki. Gadecki banking one off the boards, almost dangerously so, and it seemed. Oh, and there's a stoppage in play. not.
Got a slash.
Penalty upcoming.
And it's on Stony Brook, who's a very frustrated hockey team. As you see, number 23, Kowicki, going off.
We'll have 5-on-3 for 3 seconds and then 1:57 of 5-on-4.
As the Cyclones here having a conversation with the linesman and the referee.
Like we're trying to get everything settled out. I
think we're going to get a media timeout here. Unless one of the coaches called timeout. This is usually the mark of the game where we usually get a media timeout, but I think Iowa State called timeout instead.
Interesting, Iowa State up 4-0. They're calling timeout. It's like you were talking about, like a shark that smells blood. They're still hungry. They're not done scoring yet.
Well, to me, Coach Fairman is not only playing for the moment for this hockey game, he's telling them to keep it in gear, keep doing what you're doing, because in order for us to advance further in the tournament, we need to keep putting the gas on the pedal.
Yeah, and I'll tell you right now, if you're Ohio and you're watching this game right now, you're not excited about this matchup tomorrow.
Well, you got to. I still think you're excited because I watched Ohio play. They're a very good hockey team. I think it's a toss-up. But, yes, I do like this contrast of style can definitely frustrate you.
Face-off controlled now by Iowa State. 5-on-3 is over. Man coming out of the box. And that shot gets deflected back out to neutral ice. Iowa State going to be the first ones to it. And now it's passed along. They're looking for Grolem, but he's unable to get to it. Now it's flipped back and deflecting off the stick of Erickson. Erickson just retreating back to his defensive end. If you're Iowa State, even if you don't score here, you're more than happily going to grind 2 minutes off of this clock. Now it works in. Cross-ice pass. Grolem with a try.
Almost got his third one, didn't he? I'm telling you what, an ACHA tonight. If Grolem scores a third goal, we need to lead off with him. They need to lead off with this kid because he only had, 2 goals coming into the season, and if he gets a hat trick, that's 5. It would be tough to beat that for a lead off into the ACHA tonight.
Puck settled around behind there by Gadecki.
It's like one of the better stories of the tournament, like the Griffin kid in goal yesterday, who played spectacular.
Gadecki there, one of the Stony Brook players, came through the crease and gave him a little chop to the legs, took him out. Might have been a bit of an acting job from Gadecki, but he went down, and I'm kind of surprised, maybe just due to the fact that it's 4-0 and later in the third, we're not going to have as many penalties. But I feel like early in the game that might have drawn a penalty.
Well, the referee said, I like your product, but I'm not buying it.
Sandy at the blue line. He decides to let one go, and that one deflects around but kicks back out. Back up to Sandy. Sandy sending one down low. And a shot there from Banser. Banser has one of the goals tonight for Iowa State. Now it kicks back up for Sandy.
Pensers, what about me? What about me? I get another goal. I'm tied with Grolem.
Banser unable to stay with it there, and now it's taken by Stony Brook. And they let a bomb go, and that one covered up by Gadecki.
Because he can see it. Doesn't matter where it is. Those shots are easy for a goalie of this caliber to stop.
And we're going to go ahead and step aside for a commercial break. Quinn Kuski and Todd Quarter here, 4-0 Cyclones with 6:55 to go in period number 3.
The 2019 ACHA National Championships are brought to you by Budget Car Rental, the preferred rental agency of the ACHA. Hogan Transportation, official tournament partners of the 2019 ACHA National Championships. Edge Protect, protecting goalie skate blades since 2004 and official sponsor of the 2019 ACHA National Championships.
And we are back on the ACHA Hockey Network. Puck is down. Clock is running here in this third period.
Clock is running on Stony Brook season.
Very true, very true.
6:40 left and down by 4. The odds are slim.
Stony Brook with it behind their own net. I hope Stony Brook's coach pulled out a lucky rabbit's foot, because it seems like that's what they're going to need to even get a goal in this game, it seems like.
Iowa State has not let up one bit.
Stony Brook from their defensive end, they play cross ice. And retreating back to get it now for Iowa State is Goggin. Stony Brook trying to pass one out in front. That one deflected down and played ahead. Stony Brook with it on their blue line. Now they ring it around the boards. Going in after it there are the Cyclones. Both teams coming together along that near wall, battling for possession of that puck. Continuing to work around. Erickson pestering Kasha. Now it kicks out in front. Both teams battle for it, and it goes to the far corner.
One of the few battles that Stony Brook has won all day in the corner to get it out front.
Now the puck kicks back out to center ice, where Heffernan will settle it down for the Seawolves. Kasha working it into the zone. Tell you what, there haven't been a lot of bright spots for Stony Brook in this game. Kasha's been one of them. He's had a good game.
He's had a really good game. Hustles, plays hard. Moves without the puck well. Moves with the puck well.
Now a battle for the puck in the far corner. 2 Seawolves, 1 Cyclone. And the Seawolves prevail.
I was going to say, I'm sorry, when you're playing hockey, 2 things the coaches are looking for, and I swear most of the time they're looking, what are you doing without the puck to get yourself in position to get the puck? That's what coaches are looking for.
Now a battle along the boards, won by the Seawolves. Now Iowa State racing over to it. Both teams battle for that puck, and it kicks back behind, where it will be taken now by Alcott. Alcott passing ahead for Grollam. Grollam banks it all the way down for what will be an icing, no line change.
I mean, I guess you got to give the MVP to this hockey game to Grollam thus far.
Yeah.
He's been the star of the show today, along with Gadecki, but Gadecki hasn't been, well, he's been a little more busy this period. It's been a little more wide open. So I guess you could give 2 stars to the game, and my number 1 star is Grollam, and then Gadecki.
Face-off won by the Seawolves. Now it's passed out in front. That one just skittering right through the slot. No one able to get a good chunk of it. And now it's around behind, where it's controlled by Ronaldo. Ronaldo dropping it off. Couple players battling for possession. They continue to duel for it, and finally it comes free from Marcasilli. Marcasilli sending one all the way down, and that'll be another icing.
They don't care.
The Cyclones.
A lot of teams would care. They don't care. This is what they want. They're up 4 goals. They'll ice the puck all day for the next 3:48.
The only concern would be tired legs, and I mean, you see it there from Rogers as he's on his way back. You see it from the body language. This is a gas line. They've been on the ice now for probably a minute 20, minute 30. They're tired.
They are. Now that will be an interesting point. The further they get along in the tournament, they'll have to play. Oh, that was their best chance of the game right there. They'll have to play other lines longer minutes in order for them to survive and advance as we go further along in the tournament.
Iowa State just flipping that one out of the zone. Now they finally get their line change as Pepe has it for the Seawolves. Pepe playing it ahead, racing in after it there, and almost getting to it there with a breakaway opportunity where the Cyclones. Now Pepe brings it in offsides, and he takes a shot, and that's not ever going to go over well.
No, it's not, because the whistle blew, and you just need to stop what you're doing. It's that mentality. That's my only concern about Iowa State. Going forward, well, 2 concerns. 1, what do they do if they have to play from behind more than a goal? 2,
they're sending Pepe off.
Yeah, that's the end of his day. So, 2, my other concern is you know, they're going to have to make shorter shifts in these bigger games, and other lines are going to have to play more minutes for them to survive and advance. Those are my two biggest concerns for Iowa State. Other than that, they can play with anybody out here. So what is it, a misconduct penalty on Pepe? It's got to be. He's going for the day.
They gave him a game, but it looks like they're doing a 2 in a game.
2 in a game, yep. So we'll play 5-on-4 for the next 2 minutes.
Yep, the Seawolves need to pick somebody to come and serve that penalty.
Well, they're having a conversation over there. That's just frustration right there.
Yeah, it is. I mean, haven't gotten anything going all game. You're a team that plays a very offensive hockey style, and it just hasn't worked out in this game. Brings it into the zone. Everyone clearly heard the whistle. It's not like that was a concern. He let it go a good 3-4 seconds after that whistle blew. He knew what he was doing.
Just a frustrated hockey team. They've been beaten in every phase.
Iowa State with it now on the power play. With it there is Dolan. Dolan going up to the blue line. Back down low for Dolan. Chokes up in his skates for a second, but he gets back on top of it. With it there is Hallbach. Hallbach sends it around the boards for Dolan. Dolan just chips it down low. And the Cyclones just continue to work it around. Hallbach from the point lets a wrister go. That one patted away. And Dolan back on it. Dolan has it chipped off his skates. And now Stony Brook bringing it ahead. Nifty little reception of that pass there from Dolan, but it's pestered and taken back off his stick by the Seawolves, and all the way down it'll go to be settled in by Goggin. Goggin just skating in circles. Now he passes off now for Paulson. Paulson will come in off sides, and now he takes a late shot.
This is what happens when teams are losing. They get frustrated.
Yeah, I don't think that one was a later whistle. I don't think that was intentional from Paulson.
No, I don't either.
We'll see if they send him off as well and kind of go, you know, tit for tat. And it looks like that is what's going to happen.
Right.
I mean, if you're the referee in the situation, you just had a player take a late shot on the Cyclone goalie. So it's not it's not unthinkable that he would think, you know, revenge, I'm going to take a late shot,
right,
even though they're up 4-0.
But here's the deal. You're Iowa State. You've got to keep everybody on an even keel, control your temper, don't do anything silly because you're playing for a championship. You're playing to advance in this tournament. I know you want to get even, but that's not the right way to do it. You get even on the board. You put another goal on there and send them off.
Face-off controlled there by Stony Brook.
Acevedo, excuse me.
He'll serve it.
He's not getting his hat trick today. Oh, excuse me. I didn't mean to say that. I apologize. I was thinking of Grolum.
Grolum is on the ice in this 4-on-4 scenario.
Acevedo has a goal, but not two of them. It's my fault.
Seems like every other shift they've got Grolum on the ice. They want him to get his third.
Right.
Just think, if Grolum gets his third goal, he'll have more goals in this game than he had the entire regular season.
He'll lead off ACHA tonight without a doubt, unless something bigger happens in the next 3 games that we got going on here later on today.
And with Minot State playing Illinois, Illinois being the team that knocked Minot State off last year in this tournament, that's a bit of a revenge game for them Beavers.
That's right.
Stony Brook with possession. They turn it over to Iowa State, and here they come. Cyclones working it ahead into the offensive end. Lugging it there was Kramer, and he's pinched off, and it's taken now by the Seawolves. Stony Brook passing it along through neutral ice. And now they're cycling around. They pass it right through the net mouth. No one there to pot it home. And it's back in possession of the Cyclones.
You're Stony Brook. You want to finish the season on a positive note. You need to get a goal here.
That one just chipped in by Banser. And now a power play upcoming for the next minute for Stony Brook.
You want to score on this power play goal and have something, some something positive to happen. There you go, good one-timer.
Pass across there from Slevin, but it was fanned on, and a backdoor try, and Slevin unable to get his stick on it. A couple of the best opportunities we've seen all night for the Seawolves, and just fanning on both of them.
It sums up their entire game.
Heffernan trying to work it into the zone. They do so, but delayed offsides. They have to wait. Referee almost decapitated there by that dump in. And now it's picked up by Slevin. Slevin working it through neutral ice, dangles by one, looking to work his way by a second. He takes a shot, and that one goes off the mark. And a windup and a bomb, and that one right into the chest. An absolute rocket from Belger, but up to the task is Gadecki.
He can see it. No screen in front. Those are plays, like we said, time and time again. The goalie of his caliber will make them 99% of the time.
Crockett in on the draw for Stony Brook. He'll be dueling with Alcott of the Cyclones, and Stony Brook will win the faceoff. Back up to the blue line, deflects around, and somehow Gadecki got a piece of that. He didn't know he got a piece of it, but his pad was there. Seawolves chip it into the zone. Good shot there, and that will do it. Gadecki with the shutout, the second shutout we've seen. I can finally say the word. I was worried about jinxing him. We already jinxed that team once. We didn't want to do it a second time on this broadcast. Second shutout of the tournament. Adrian had the first in that 1-0 duel that they had with Missouri State. And here a 4-0 win from the Cyclones, and they just outplayed him in every facet of the game.
He dominated him, except for the first 2 minutes of the game. They dominated him the rest of the 58. There's just no question about it. Iowa State did exactly what they do best. Play outstanding defense. Don't turn the puck over. Turn your defense into offense. And you know what? Stony Brook had a really good season. They finished 20-10-3. That's outstanding. You made it to the Nationals. You got to day 3. That's an outstanding season. So, you know, what they need to do, don't hang your head. Get ready for next season. Improve your team and make another run at it.
A little side story going on here. Right as the game ended, Azevedo sprints off the ice into the tunnel, and he's receiving assistance from a trainer in the tunnel, but definitely came off with a limp in that left leg. Hopefully nothing major, as they've got a game tomorrow against Ohio.
Well, that would be a big loss. He played extremely well today. He scored the second goal of the game. He's probably our third star of the game. I would say the second star of the game, even though he had a shutout, was Gadecki. And the number 1 star of the game to me was Grolem.
Yeah.
He almost doubled his goal total for the year. He came in with what? He came in with how many goals did he come in this season? 2. And and now he
scores 2.
He scores 2. He doubled his goal total, and now he has 4 goals and 8 points on the season. And if he'd have got a hat trick, like I said earlier, he possibly could have been the number 1 story on ACHA tonight. Matter of fact, stay tuned to ACHA tonight after our 4th and final hockey game, as we'll break down all the games for you live in the studio.
And we will break down our D1's game here and our D2 games over at Plano. ACHA tonight will be hosted by yours truly. And coming up next at the 1:30 time slot, we will have Illinois taking on Minot State. Rematch of last year's semifinals between Minot and Illinois. And that's going to be an exciting game, Todd.
An outstanding hockey game. All these games, when you get this far, you're expecting 1 or 2 low games the rest of the way. I mean, the teams are all pretty even at this point. Obviously, the favorite is Lindenwood and Michigan Dearborn. They're probably the 2 favorites, but I don't, honestly, I've seen them play. I've seen Michigan Dearborn, haven't seen Lindenwood yet. I tell you, watching this Iowa State hockey team, they're the best team I've seen thus far in the tournament.
All right, Azevedo still in the tunnel, limping around a little bit. Hopefully he'll wind up being okay. And from Quinn Kuski and Todd Corder, that's going to do us here with Iowa State and Stony Brook. Final score 4-0 Cyclones win. They'll move on to take on the Ohio Bobcats tomorrow at 10 a.m. We'll see you later today on the ACHA Hockey Network. Tune back in at 1:30 from Minot State, Illinois. I'm Quinn Kuski along with Todd Corder. So long and good day.
My experience at Stony Brook was everything. It completely changed my life.
Since coming here, I've had my conception of humanity expanded.
The most important lesson I've learned at Stony Brook is that you have to work for it and you have to take it.
The students are bringing fresh minds to the question.
We go far beyond campus confines to bring our expertise to global problems.
Stony Brook's just giving me that chance to prove my potential.
Come on! You know the answer. You studied for this. Come on. Timmy! Come on, Timmy. You got this, son. Pencil to paper. Focus. Come on, Timmy. Focus. Focus. Take the puck. There you go. Skate! Skate! Pass it! You call that a pass? What are you doing? You missed the puck! Come on!
Iowa State was the place where Derek began his adventure.
Derek was one of the first students in the industrial design program.
Our apartment together was a design studio. A light bulb went off one day. I think he thought, I can design sneakers.
Derek's first study abroad experience, in fact, was in Rome.
He was able to go to London.
Did an internship in Germany.
Internship in New York City.
He designed in Chicago, and now he's on his way to design in California.
To see the excitement in Derek's face when he was moving to California is amazing. For Derek, it's a dream come true.
Enjoy your adventure at Iowa State. Visit ChooseYourAdventure.net.